Hey everyone, it's Nancy Ann. I am finally making another scoring video for you today. Before I forget, I do want to tell you there are affiliate links for all of the things that I am using down in the drop down box, including my Bread Basics bread sling, which I talk about all the time. I love this one because of both the bracelet that keeps it from flopping around and the nice long handles. Okay. So this is a batard that is of dough, of course, that is made of about 500 grams of flour and 70% hydration. 20% of that flour, or about 100 grams, is whole wheat flour. Let's start with getting her out. And by the way, you do not need a liner on your Banneton. I lost mine, so I just put it in this towel, and that works fine. And put it onto my turntable for ease turning. You do not need a turntable. You can just turn it around. Nope. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put my bread sling. I showed it to you and then I didn't put it in there. So I'm going to be covering some tips and tricks and apparently tripping over my tongue and making some mistakes in this video. Alrighty. There we go. Now we'll put that on there. That'll make it so I can lift it into my Dutch oven. Get my dental floss out of the way. There we go. Much better. You can use parchment instead of a bread sling if you want to. I just find the bread sling to be real handy. And parchment I could use at a time or two, but then I had to replace it with another piece of parchment, and this just stays good all the time. I had another bread sling that had much shorter handles, and it was tricky getting in and out of my Dutch oven. Alrighty, I'm going to spray with some water. I just have a regular old spray bottle here. Real easy. I've seen people that do this without spraying with water. I just think it helps with a little bit of adherence. I call this, well, it kind of looks like an accordion with wheat stalks. I call it the roly-poly loaf. I have seen it done on Instagram a few times. I did this once and I messed up on the score, so I thought maybe I learned something and I can share it with you today. So let's go ahead and put our rice flour just in a regular old Dredger sprinkle cup. I'm going to spread it around. I want it to be, you know, fairly thick and uniform. And you don't have to do this. It just helps your design to stand out. You don't need to do this at all. You could use anything else sprinkly you want to on this. When this whole thing is done being scored, I will take this and I will brush the excess off into the sink, because this can make just a little bit of mess on the bottom of my Dutch oven. Not too bad, but why create work for myself if I don't need to? Regular old handy dandy dental floss. It's a great tool, very inexpensive. And I'm just going to make lines. This is an easy score, by the way, about 1 inch apart, all the way across. There's a bubble right here. Are my lines growing? Sometimes as you keep going, lines will grow. Things get bigger. For me, we'll do down here. I don't know that I'll do that, but that's why I like marking things with string and the like, because then I can go back and erase it with my finger if I need to. So now I'm going to get my lom out. This is a UFO lom. I have found that even though regular razors have double sides, I like these razors that have the single side. I'm trying to remember what this is called. Anyway, this kind of a razor, because I can put my finger here and then have something to kind of hold it steady without cutting my finger on the other side of it. Otherwise, I just have to hold it like this, which is fine, but I found this is an added convenience. Okay, so on half of these lines, I'm going to go about 2/3 of the way over and make a cut. And then I'm going to go 2/3 of the way over on the other side or so and make a cut. That one was crooked. It's okay. And I have to remember to go every other one. That was the problem I did last time, was I did too many of the lines in one together going. There's that bubble, it just collapsed. But I did too many of the lines in a row and I didn't go every other one. And this is why our marking our lines with the dental floss is so important, because if you don't do that, the chances of messing this up are high. And I did go ahead and use that little line I put over there. So now on the ends that are not cut, I'm going to do a little wheat stalk. So I'm just going to do a little tip and then a wheat stalk like this. Can you see it? And we're going to go here, little end to my wheat stalk, and then a slice down. So what I want to do is get that far enough away from the end of this line that it's not real likely to split as it grows. I have another trick for trying to keep that from happening. I'll show you in just a minute. I call this a roly-poly loaf because I think when it comes out it looks a little bit like a roly-poly bug. Now I'll go to the other side and do them over here. Where's the end of my line? It's right there, so I want to go here. That's going to be a little one. It was an awkward angle right there. Here we go in our fallen. Our fallen bubble. There is a chance that will puff back up when it bakes, but I doubt it. I think we're going to have a little bit of a dip in the loaf. Okay, now I'm going to take this, and this is going to be my trick for trying to keep it from splitting into the wheat stalk, this from breaking apart, because there's going to be a weak spot between the end of that and the end of this. Try to keep them from spreading and meeting, is I'm going to make a nice deep line now along all of the long lines. Now, why didn't I do that in the first place? Because as I score, those deep lines tend to spread with gravity. I don't have these bouncy loaves that stay up. I imagine as time goes on, I will probably figure out a trick for that. But otherwise, they're really, really spreading. You can see they've spread some. And then the problem comes in because getting the wheat stalks to look accurate, and I'm trying to score wheat stalks on a really spreading loaf. So now I'm just going to go back. Let me do over here so you can see. And I'm really going to deepen these lines, because this is where I really want it to split. This is my main score here, is these long lines. Try and go from this side. Nope, you can't see from there. Now this is taking me a lot longer than it normally would because I'm talking to you. Let me find the end of the split, make sure I don't get it confused. There we go. I think I already did that, but it isn't going to hurt to do it again. And down here, I'm going to go ahead and make a nice deep cut right here on the end. I didn't do a wheat stalk way down here because I don't think it's going to show by the time the loaf bakes. Alrighty, so I'm going to put this into an oven, a Dutch oven that has been heating at 500 in the oven. As soon as I get it in there, I'm going to move that temperature down to 425. I'm going to bake it for 40 minutes. I've learned that these bigger loaves, I need to bake them longer because I wasn't getting them baked enough, and when I was taking them out to rest while its sister loaf baked in the Dutch oven before the final bake where they're uncovered on a cookie sheet, that they were collapsing because they weren't baked all the way in the middle. So now I bake them for 40 minutes, and then when I pop them both in the oven together on a cookie sheet, that's when they get brown. And then also I've eliminated my problem of them being a little bit gummy in the middle. Alrighty, so we will see you with the Dutch oven reveal. This is our roly-poly accordion loaf. Let's see how she turned out. Oh, she's pretty. So there we go. She's got some brown on her there. Isn't that nice? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it over here on my cookie sheet. And I have another loaf that I'm going to score and bake in the covered Dutch oven. Then I'm going to put them both back in the oven on this cookie sheet until they're baked about 20 minutes and as brown as I would like. So we'll see you back with the final result of this loaf. Our finished accordion loaf. So there's not quite as much detail down here because my bread flour didn't reach that far. This got really great oven spring and it pulled up from the bottom. So that is perfectly fine though. It split exactly where I wanted it to. It did not run into my top slash on my wheat stalks there. This was a really easy score for some really impressive, beautiful results. But do you see why I think it looks a little bit like a roly-poly? Anyway, I'm really, really happy with this one. If you could do me a favor and just give the video a real quick like, squish that like button for me. That really does help the video quite a bit. Comment down below. That helps me. That helps my self-esteem. That's what makes it all worth it, is when I get comments from you guys. And subscribe if you haven't already and you are interested in all sorts of different scoring videos. This one right here in the back will be the video after this one. Alrighty, that is it. Thanks a bunch for watching and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye and be blessed.